to, and for some reason in my brain, I was like, I'm going to make silly faces, but then I accidentally started filming. So I'm just gonna keep that in. Hi. Uh, Today I am going to be sharing a story of basically just for a couple days. I'm going to be sharing just little stories that I feel like sharing. It'll be either a case of when I was very young, of something that happened to me, or something that I did, or if it's more like closer to recent day stuff, I'm going to keep it very lighthearted. Um, when I'm going to start off when I was 3 years old. I was not, I could not physically be able to speak at all during this time at 3 years old. I know that's like around the time that people start being able to get cognitive dissonance, and they start being able to like talk, or uh it's not when they're 4 years old, but they start being able to talk somewhere around 3 years old. And then later on they're supposed to be able to like gain self-awareness. Or with me, I gained self-awareness before I started being able to speak. That was not fun times. But this particular story is a case of how I was not in that good of a neighborhood. There were good people, absolutely, but we ended up trying to help my family, uh, even though we were very poor in a rough neighborhood, try to help out people as much as possible. So people were pretty nice to us, because they're like, these are the chill white people. They yeah, we were that stereotypical vanilla white people in a ghetto neighborhood, but we're just so tried our best to be so sweet and nice that they're like, yeah, they're the way they are, but they're cool, so we rock with them too. Feel weird saying like, oh yeah, after saying all that white, we rock with them. Okay. Sorry. I but get back on track. I but on that note, just because a lot of people were cool with us doesn't mean that everyone was. We had lots and lots of people steal from us because we were trying to be kind and nice to them. And there's this one particular dude, I'll say that for the end. He basically, I don't know if he was on the run at the time, but he didn't have a home, and we recognized that he obviously had an issue, so we helped him out, and didn't give him a key or anything, but excuse me, we let him stay at the house, like sleep on the couch type of ordeal, to help him out for a bit. I don't know how much more that my parents did, because I was very little. I obviously wasn't the one doing all this stuff because I didn't have the resources. But my parents helped this guy out that I wasn't that close with or knew much about. But he one day stole one of the keys, and my parents didn't notice, but he ransacked through our car and our house, and we noticed, because we had 2 cars, but as we got home with one of our cars, we saw how our house got just ran through and just stuff getting stolen. And it was very clear that the last thing he was trying to steal through was the DVD sets, because, like, he was able to get the first Harry Potter movie and all the Star Wars, but wasn't able to get, like, all the Harry Potter DVD sets. And mom and dad were devastated, went through a whole system check, to try to figure out what the issue was. Got stolen from again, and then they switched the key, and then that's when they found out that that's what the issue was, that the key got stolen, and so whoever was doing this was able to just use the key and then get in the house, steal, and then try to sneak out before we got back. And uh, so, because my family was just that chill, because my family was friendly, basically, was very friendly with the neighborhood and tried our best to help out. When they could, they also tried to help us out. Like, one of our neighbors went over to the local gas station and saw this dude that they knew was shady. They knew he was shady. And they found one of my mom's original CDs. Like, this isn't a case of, like, oh, she went and bought this from X person that's famous. No, she used to live in the West, like the west side of USA, and went to university and started like had a singing gig, and was able to work with them to, like, with the group, to get a whole CD recorded and make multiple CDs. And she was able to, like, have, like, I think she had like 3 of them, and one and the one that was in the car got stolen. So one of our neighbors, like, saw the CD and picked it up and was like, this belongs to the D family, and rushed over to our house and told my parents, like, hey, someone, the X person just stole, like, obviously stole your stuff. And we're like, what? How do you know? And like, stay like, oh yeah, this CD is yours. And so my parents immediately, like, rushed over to the spot, but he obviously could catch on that the person that was going to run to tattle on him to come get my family and try to stop him. So he packed up and left before we could even get to the gas station that he was at. Took all the stuff, just gone. And that's, like, all the adult side of it. 3-year-old me. Dramatic brain. And when I mean dramatic, I mean, oh, this person stole from us from the first time that they stole. That means that the next time they're gonna come over, they're gonna try to kill us. Just what, from one end to the other. You know, classic movie tropes of someone gets into the house, now the thief is trying to kill them. So that's where my brain automatically went to, is this guy is gonna try to kill my family, and I need to do something to protect me. And I was not smart enough to register that maybe I should block the front door. I just blocked the entrance to my room because I knew how my room worked, so I could set up a system. So I booby-trapped my room. Now, I have a different room now, but at the time, there was a door, there's a mini hallway in the room, and on the side there's a closet, and then when you go out, there's, like, the actual room. And it's one of the more nicer rooms in that house, but it's very much a case of, if you turn off the light, which is right next to the door, there's like a little bit of distance you gotta go to in order to get to me. And with the wall that, like, where the little section of where it goes from the hallway to turn into the room, on the walls beside that section, I had 2 cabinets. And I had a bunch of yarn because people from the religious group that my family went to, gave me stuff, including yarn. And I had ballet sets because my parents were trying to get me into dance and into singing because my mom loved the theater, and so she wanted me to be able to get better at my skills in ballet, because that's like technically like the fundamentals that help you be able to get good at all the other different types of dancing. And I had snow globes, and I perfectly tied up the yarn to the snow globe, to the cabinet, to the other cabinet, to the other cabinet, to the ballet stand, and just slowly worked quietly to myself, because I couldn't speak at this time, quietly set up a booby trap on my room. And I was small enough I could sneak underneath the booby trap to like turn off lights and sneak back over and like still do what I needed to do. So basically no one knew except me on this booby trap that I made until super late at night. Oh no, it wasn't the guy that came into the house. It was my mom. She wanted to check up on me to make sure I was asleep and give me a kiss goodnight. And she turned off the light to make sure that I could be able to properly sleep well. And she walked on over from the door over to the hallway section, right into the booby trap. She activated it, and it wrapped around her, and she was just stuck, arm up, leg trapped, like she physically couldn't move. So she starts screaming out for help because she can't reach the light or the door, and she can't reach me. And I don't actually, the funny thing is I actually don't remember this happening. I am retelling. I remember setting up the trap. Like I could, if I had like a little, I should have brought a drawing board. I'm gonna do that next time just to give you a recap. But if I had my drawing board, I could show you how I orchestrated it, because I remember how I set it up. But I don't remember my mom getting caught in it. Maybe it was like an embarrassing thing for me, so my brain purposely wiped it out. But I don't remember. And my mom, she remembers how she was just stuck in the dark, trapped, physically couldn't see anything, but she knew she couldn't move. So she's yelling out to my dad for help. He runs over, turns on the light, and then sees the contraption that I made and is able to help get her out of it. So long story short, if your kids understand that they're in danger, they are going to work to protect themselves in any way they know how, but they may not be able to tell you. So just be careful. I'm sure if a devilish child saw this, they'd go ham on like, oh, I could prank my parents now. I had a particular room, so I don't think this could be replicated, but I'm pretty proud of the fact that I was able to booby trap my room at 3 years old and have retold the story multiple times throughout my life. And I later found out, like, I'm an adult now, finding out that dude in particular was on a sex offender registration list. And actually once kidnapped a girl. Like a kid girl. So, my parents, yes, they were mad that it happened, but they weren't mad at me because I was able to later explain it to them, and they're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Not only that, but yeah, they were happy that I was smart enough to keep myself safe, especially since this dude was like even more dangerous than they thought he was. So, yeah, that's my story. Anyway, thank you for listening to me. If you like me sharing stories of my childhood, please subscribe. If you like the story, please like. And, I'll let you go. Bye.